The Lord's been showing me some really amazing things about music and music with the temple, but God really answered something that I had always pondered about some scriptures in the Bible, and I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to extend this video into a couple of videos so that it's not all one huge long video, but I'm going to just kind of break it in parts. And in this first video, I just wanted to talk about this article that was written 5 years ago now by Adam Eliyahu Berkowitz, and it's called "What is the Last Secret to be Revealed Before the Messiah?" It says, when the temple was still in service thousands of years ago, music was an essential aspect of serving God. That sacred music sent into exile along with the Jewish people after the destruction of the Second Temple has been lost for 2,000 years. Today, one man is working to bring back that music, the return of which was predicted by a great Jewish sage to be the last step before the Messiah. Music has always been a way of connecting to God ever since the first musician named Yuval, which is in Genesis 4 verse 21. And his brother's name was Yuval, and he was the father of all such as handled the harp and pipe. When the children of Israel witnessed the splitting of the Red Sea, Miriam the prophetess picked up a tambourine, which was really a hand drum with jingles, and led the entire nation in a song of praise, Exodus 15:2. Saul encountered a group of prophets who used music to connect to God in 1 Samuel 10:5. Isaiah composed songs, and Ezekiel prophesied about one who has a pleasant voice and plays well on an instrument. And of course, King David, the biblical so-called rock star, gave us the official temple songbook, Psalms. The temple was the heart of the Jewish people, and music was at its core. According to the Talmud, one of their books, which I don't agree with that book, but the regular temple orchestra consisted of 12 instruments and the choir of 12 male singers. Temple musicians were selected from the tribe of Levi. Their Zohar explains that the Levites were selected to sing in the temple because the name Levi means to accompany, and their music would cause others to come close to God. Levitical singers went through a training period from the age of 25 to 30 and usually participated in the temple service between the ages of 30 and 50. Young Levites often joined the choir to add sweetness to the sound, kind of like a boys' choir, you know, and like the Vienna Boys Choir, but were not permitted to stand on the same platform with the adult Levites. When Israel went into exile, so did the music. When the Jews were captive in Babylon, musicians hung up their harps and refused to play. The train just came through. I was very close to the horn, apparently. Oh boy. So Psalm 137:4 says, "How shall we sing the Lord's song in a foreign land?" Now, if you know the musical Godspell, there was a beautiful song featuring the hanging up of the harps on the willows, and it was a song called "On the Willows." And I taught that song to myself on guitar in high school, and it was one of my favorite songs to sing. It had a real beautiful, enchanting melody. Rabbi David Lewis, an accomplished musician, is now working to change all that. As the composer for the Temple Institute, he is attempting to bring back the temple music, he told Breaking Israel News. Its loss, he revealed, was not a mistake but intentional. It was caused to be forgotten by the Levites so that it wouldn't be used for secular purposes, he explained. They broke their instruments and even injured their own hands so they wouldn't play it anymore. Rabbi Lewis is tuning up his harp in preparation, expecting the return of the temple music very soon. The Gaon of Vilna, an 18th century Torah sage, said that the temple music will be the last secret to be revealed before the Messiah, and we are almost there, Rabbi Louise explained. Prophecy is about to return, bringing music with it. The music exists and is waiting for us to access it. We have the tools, but we aren't exploring them to their full potential. The most powerful example of this is the trop, the cantillation that teaches how to sing the Bible. This teaches us so much about the musicology of the Bible. Rabbi Louise sees prophecy as returning along with the music, explaining that we are already beginning that process. And this was 5 years ago. Just as we have a prophetic experience when we say Shema and unify ourselves with God, musicians will be able to do this using the cantillation. But people are not exploring this. It is apparently being held back until people will do this without trying to use it for personal gain. He described to Breaking Israel News the characteristics that make temple music unique. Temple music can only be achieved within a mentality that allows for the simultaneous existence of individuality and collectivity. Jews are extremely individualistic, each is a complete world unto himself, yet we all have an equally strong sense of belonging to the Jewish people. In musical terms, this means that we are able to blend two opposite musical techniques, composition and a cohesion with the whole, combined with improvisation, individual freedom of expression. As a trained orchestral conductor, Rabbi Louise understands how difficult this is technically. Were we to attempt temple teraphophony professionally, he posited, classically trained musicians would feel uncertain of what is expected of them, and untrained musicians would lack sense of musical geometry. After 2,000 years of musical exile, Rabbi Louise believes that what is lacking to bring back the temple music is simply a change in attitude and to pick up our instruments and begin to play. All we are lacking in the freedom of thought, Rabbi Louise explained. If you want to bring this prophetic reality into existence, we should just start having rehearsals. It's going to come from the interaction of people with this intention, people who come together to play music for holy purposes. So how will we know that the music that comes out will be the real temple music? Rabbi Louise has no worries. Whatever happens then will be the de facto authentic music of the temple, even though some of us can predict, expect, or prepare for the actual sound which will be heard. And so for a long time, I communicated with the harp makers for the Temple Institute until there was opposition to Messiah Yeshua, and finding out that Passover was being combined with Indian gurus that were coming there on the beach. And I could no longer connect, let's put it that way. And so in one of the harp videos that they made, because Solomon's temple was filled with the music of 4,000 harps, and they released a video a while back of a Jewish child returning to Israel, removing a harp from a willow where her forefathers had hung it upon going out into exile. So a lot of the temple harps have been built by these people, and they are already built and at the Temple Institute, ready to be played, and they've already trained people on the harps. This has been knowledge that's gone on for probably the last 10 to 15 to 20 years. So that's what I wanted to talk about right now, and in the next video I'm going to carry over talking about the musical instruments and some things that the Lord revealed through somebody I talked about before. John Good of the DW Drum Factory told another story, and I want to share that with you because it was pretty astounding how an experience that he had was really an answer to Scripture. So stay tuned, and thank you for your watching the video and for your channel support. I really do need the help, and I thank you for it. And thank you for the people that have stuck by me through thick and thin. God bless. I'll talk to you soon. The Willows. This is the story and the deep secrets of the true Messiah of Israel, Yeshua HaMashiach of Nazareth. The Davidic dynasty returns.